Hi there, these comments are for MS, and I am Michael from OTC, OnlineTOEFLCourse.com. So your email is in response to a video I did yesterday. I was talking about how to improve your TOEFL concentration in 5 steps, and that video was in response to a question from another student who needed to improve his or her concentration. All right, so let's see what your question is here. I think initially you said Dr. Michael, but believe it or not, I am not a PhD. I do teach at California State University, San Bernardino, but I'm what's called a lecturer. I lecture pretty much full-time over there, but I have a master's degree in English composition with an emphasis on TESOL, teaching English as a second language. My bachelor's degree is in Spanish, so I do have a second language. All right, let's take a look at your question. So you could just say Michael, or you can say Mr. Buckhoff, but I just like Michael. Michael's fine. Said, this is blank, an Iranian MA student at the University of Sakarya, Turkey. I've sent you emails before. I want to ask you on 2 subjects in this email. You say, firstly, I came across a YouTube video that you uploaded today related to how to improve your TOEFL concentration in 5 steps. In the video, you made a point about a TOEFL practice test costing around $35. Yes, this is a practice test that will give you a score, an accurate score, an overall score out of 120 points. You also get subtotal scores in the reading, listening, speaking, and writing areas. So let's see your question. I want to know, you want to say here, this is your grammar issues here, right? You want to say whether, and say it like this. I want to know whether it is possible to buy one test, but enter it. I'm going to say enter because it means to buy but to enter. So you have to look at enter as parallel to the infinitive before that coordinating conjunction but. Say, I want to do this in order to work better as I know I will enter an exam and evaluate myself whether or not I can take the main exam later. Okay, so the answer is yes. I don't think that once you purchase one of these full-length practice tests, you can take it, I think, whenever you want. What you want to do is, once you purchase the test at my partner website, make sure that you email the owner and tell them what you want to do. Say, hey, I just purchased one of your practice tests. However, I don't plan on taking this practice test until about 45 days after today. So I see what you're doing. So by buying the practice test, then that's going to motivate you to study. So then now you're going to study and try to improve your overall academic English proficiency skills to get ready for the test. You say the second subject I want to talk about is how to work effectively for TOEFL IBT, or how about this, how to study effectively for the TOEFL IBT. Say, I recently have started studying on TOEFL IBT with good sources. I've gathered your own free sources, vocabulary, writing you mentioned in the video. Okay. The strategy I'm intended to study for TOEFL is to study each part one by one. I mean to study 1 week on reading, the next week writing, techniques, and so on for 1 month. Do you think this might be a good idea to study on the TOEFL? I'm going to say in your case, no. I don't think that's the right way to do it. Because if you just focus, for example, on reading techniques or reading practice tests 1 week, and then you do listening techniques or listening practice tests the next, then speaking techniques, speaking practice tests, writing techniques. If you do them in order like that, you're missing the big picture here. I mean, I can tell by the email that you sent me that you don't have super high academic English language proficiency. So if you study bit by bit, you're not really addressing your academic English language proficiency. You're simply doing what I call test preparation. But you need more than test preparation. In my opinion, you need to work on your academic English language skills. So I don't think separating them like that's not going to be the best thing. If you study in an English language program, they're not going to just do writing one week and then speaking the next. You're going to be doing a combination of writing, speaking, listening, reading, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. You're going to be doing all those things every week, week after week after week. So I think a better system for you. Now, I know at YouTube you guys are going to go crazy. I mean, what's he talking about? But let me preface my advice here. Now, if your English skills are already super high and you don't really need to improve your basic English skills and you're ready to take the TOEFL test, but you're simply not that familiar with the strategies or the test format, then maybe, this might work. But in this case, this student, you have more, you need to really work on your English proficiency first and get that improved a lot. And then at some point, then you can focus on the test and the strategies and all of that, right? So in your case, I'm going to recommend, and the best way that I can help you here is you take the full-length practice test first. You take it right away. And then you send me an email and say, hey, Michael, I just took the full-length IBT practice test. Here's my overall score. Here are my subtotal scores. If you tell me that, right, and then you say, Michael, here's my target score. Here's what I need to get on the TOEFL. Here are the required subtotal reading, listening, speaking, and writing. If you tell me that, then I can figure out the best course that's going to help you. Maybe you only need the TOEFL Writing Bootcamp course. The only reason you would only need that one thing is if you already have passing subtotals in the reading, listening, and speaking areas. And the only thing you need to improve now is your writing. In that case, I would recommend the TOEFL Writing Bootcamp course. However, if your overall score right now is like 20 or 30 points lower than your target score, and you haven't really met any of your required subtotal scores, I'm not going to just recommend speaking or writing bootcamp courses. I'm going to recommend, in that case, probably my 3-month TOEFL course. I believe this. This is what I believe. I believe in what's called the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. I think in order to improve your scores and your English skills in a dramatic way, you need to concentrate in 7 areas every week. You need to focus in 7 areas, right? You need to focus vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, reading, listening, speaking, and writing. So my courses give you feedback in each of those areas weekly. That way, as you improve your English, you improve it in a more balanced format. You're not going to have super high speaking and very low writing. You'll improve everything at about the same time. Now, many of you know this, is once you get to a super high level in your English proficiency, if one of your proficiency skills are significantly lower than the others, it becomes more difficult to improve that one area. For example, I've had students who have really good writing, their reading, listening is great, all of that's good, but maybe their speaking is very low. And at that point, it's once you get that discrepancy like that and you're already advanced in your English skills, it becomes much more difficult to improve in that one area. So I believe in balanced study. You balance your study in 7 key areas. Everybody needs to improve vocabulary. Who the heck doesn't? How about pronunciation? Without good pronunciation, how can you communicate clearly in academic, social, and professional settings? Everybody needs pronunciation, right? And then how about grammar? Without grammar, how can you form the sentences when you speak and write? And then, of course, reading is crucially really important for many, many things. Listening the same, speaking and writing. So by improving in those areas equally, as you go through my courses from one week to the next, you will have very balanced academic English language proficiency, and you're not going to get behind in any one area. And that's why I designed my course the way I did. So to conclude this video, I recommend for you not to try to fragment your study. It looks like you need a lot more practice in a lot of different areas, and you should be focusing on all these areas each week, week to week to week, because I think that your TOEFL score right now is probably significantly lower than the target score you're seeking. All right, does that make sense? All right, thank you. So what I will do is in the email, I will put a link to that full-length IBT practice test for you so you can take that. I would do it right away unless you already have taken the TOEFL exam, and then you can tell me that. You can say, hey, Michael, here's my current TOEFL score. Here's my goal. Here's my target score. And I can recommend the right course that fits your situation right now. I have many different types of study plans that can help you reach your target scores. All right, thank you. And for more information, you can go over to my website at bettertoeflscores.com.